From garage sales to thrift store aisles, we hunt for treasure, stacking them in piles. Hustling hard, making deals all day, flipping finds, turning profit our way. Pure Hustle Podcast guides our quest, learning tricks to be the best. On eBay we make our name, reselling dreams, winning the game. Pure Hustle Podcast guides our quest, learning tricks to be the best. On eBay we make our name, reselling dreams, winning the game. Pure Hustle Podcast.
Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're on episode 463 of the Pure Hustle Podcast Show.
Yeah, that's right. 463 episodes in. And you know what? I really hope that everybody who's watching right now has gone through and hit the like, the subscribe, the bell notifications, because we don't normally go live on Tuesdays, or we haven't been. In fact, our episodes haven't been going on Tuesdays for... Back in the beginning, I think we were Tuesday, Thursday, maybe. But anyways, we're trying to settle into a new routine. I'm back at school. Orlando's working full time on top of reselling. And so we're trying to figure out what works best with our schedule. So make sure to hit that like, subscribe, bell notifications, all those things, so that you don't miss if an episode drops on an unusual time.
Yeah, so it's interesting these times. I got to tell you, I'm really sad because last week was eBay Open. And it was one of those things like I would have gone. Like, it was the first live eBay Open since 2019. And I couldn't because I had a retreat that I had to go to, and that's just the way it is. And I didn't even get to watch it. But I did follow up some notes, and we'll talk about that. And I saw, what had taken place. But I always encourage people, like, if there's a meetup, if there's anything going on that you can join, like, and meet live people, it's always worth it. For the networking experiences, for the experience of just hearing how other people resell, like, it's always a good opportunity. So make sure to take advantage of those.
Plus, it was in Vegas, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, well,
Vegas is good times. Can be.
Is it, Mike?
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, unless it's reselling knowledge and connections you make. That comes home with you.
That is true. Okay. All right. So, Mike, what's going on with you these days?
Man, not much. So, I've been hitting up the local Goodwill bins recently because I didn't think I'd get a chance to do garage sales this weekend. My son has soccer tryouts. And one of the things about reselling, especially as a part-time reseller, I'm going to prioritize my family over everything else. And sometimes prioritizing my family means I've got to do some more reselling, right? Because I've got to pay these bills. I've got to take care of my family. And other times it's like, hey, I've got to be there for my family when they have events. So I was going to pivot, stop for a little bit of time after work on the way home a few times this week at the Goodwill. And that was kind of the plan. And luckily we were able to actually shift the tryouts from Saturday to Friday evening. So I'm actually now getting the best of both worlds. I'm still going to be able to go out this Saturday and check out some garage sales, and been hitting up the Goodwill bins. The Goodwill bins have been okay. I mean, I try not to spend too much time in there. I think the best bet would be if you're really going to spend a lot of time at a Goodwill bin and be hitting all of the new bins that come out. But my routine right now is to just stop, maybe go on for 10 or 15 minutes, check out a few things. I tend to stay in the hard good stuff and the books. I do best. I guess you just gravitate towards the things you're most interested in selling. I'm not really interested in selling clothes right now, even though I've sold some articles of clothing. It's just, I don't enjoy listing those things. So I tend to go to the hard goods. And, it's such what I love about the Goodwill bins, even over other thrift stores. Like, you walk into a thrift store, like, you got a pretty good idea. They've got them organized. It's like, here's the dishes section, here's the furniture section, here's the electronics section. And the Goodwill bins, like there's a electronic section, kind of, at least the one we have here, but it's like each bin is just like a bin of just hard goods. And so every time you go into one, it's like you've got no idea what you're gonna find. It's like in this bin is some Christmas decorations and some toys and some pottery, or not pottery, some like pots and pans. And so be like, oh look, here's a cast iron or something, and you just have no idea what's going to be in each bin. So it's kind of fun. You start to see some of the same things, but if you're going every couple of days, even if you're not getting there when those bins are rolling out, you're still going to be finding things, right? And so, finding a handful of things here and there, but I find that my most profitable per time spent is in books. And the reason why is because, like I said, like you look through so many things, and I pick up a board game and I'm like, oh sweet, I could sell this board game for $40. Oh no, it's opened. Oh no, it's missing some pieces. Or I could sell this for, and then you look and it's a lot of the stuff is really busted at the Goodwills, especially the bins. But the books, it's like a little bit easier to know, like, this is mass market cheap. Hey, this looks old and unique. Or these are textbooks, and it's like, okay, I've got a good eye for textbooks now too. So I don't have to spend a ton of time. If I know this is an old textbook, a few back, it's worthless. It's going in the trash, right? It's not, I can't sell that. But I also live in a college town, right? We got Baylor right down the street from me. So sometimes there's like books that are coming in that are relatively recent that are still on the reading list at Baylor. And I can clean up on those. So it's been pretty decent, picking up a handful of things here and there. But that's kind of how I've been spending my time, is stopping at the Goodwills for, sometimes it's 15 minutes. Sometimes 15 minutes quickly turns into 45 minutes. My wife's calling me saying like, dinner's on the table, when are you going to be home? It's like, oh man, I got busy looking at these books. So, but yeah, doing pretty good, man. What about you?
So a lot going on. I do want to address all the people here in the comment section. Susquehanna Picker, thanks for being here. He says nothing like listing and listening. And hey, you know what?
Yeah.
We don't mind being background noise. Says, oops, I ship myself. Good day, my friends. We also got Ice here says, hi guys, Mike, thanks for the heads up on the Discord. Londo, the beer looks great. Hey,
It does. It's a better look for you. Yeah, it's a good look.
Did we record
last episode? Yep.
Okay, I still miss it though. But it's okay. It won't come back though. That's the thing. I don't think I'm doing the long beard for a long time now. So, and then we also got Wanda Hone here says, awesome, was listening, got notification on Discord, first time hearing the live, woot.
Woo woo.
So yeah, hey, appreciate all you guys. And yeah, like Mike said, we're kind of like been sporadic lately. Like we're dropping lives on Thursdays, Wednesdays, Tuesdays, but I think we're eventually gonna hone in on a specific day again to help us out.
Yeah. I think so. Tentatively Tuesdays are looking good.
Okay, thanks, Mike. And here's the weird thing: Mike and I only talk on the podcast. Like we're good friends, but this is the only time we talk, and we might shoot the breeze
Not
before.
the only time, yeah, before and after.
Pretty much.
And then text occasionally here and there.
That is true. But we are living crazy lives, and I got to tell you, this podcast, if you're listening to this and you're thinking that we're like top level, like expert resellers, we're not. Now, are we experienced resellers? Sure, we are. Have I been full time? Was I full time for 8 years? Yes. Have I been selling on eBay for close to 15 or maybe even close to 20 years if I actually count all the random times I sold stuff? So yeah, we do have a little bit to share, but I do want to say that. Right now, you're watching the documentation of Orlando not handling his eBay business well. Few things.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. So, a few things to talk about. First of all, is I did get a couple cases closed without seller resolution, which should never happen. Should never happen. If you get those, that's because you didn't, like, you dropped the ball, like you didn't pay attention. That's what I did. So I got a couple returns, and what ended up happening with those returns, that like the people were waiting for the refund, but I was so busy that I never even checked to see where the package was. Then I never even checked the package, and eBay kept sending messages. They're like, hey, make sure you refund, and then I never refunded. And so then I looked at my metrics, and my metrics say case closed without seller resolution, which I will tell you, it does hurt your store. It really does. Like some people say, oh no, it does. I can tell. Like my store like has been more quiet than normal. Like, and it's not okay. It's not good. And you got to be careful. Like I say, getting top rated seller is pretty easy. Losing top rated seller is pretty difficult. Like, you have to really not try, except, unless you don't sell the amount of goods that you're supposed to sell, right? So I ended up getting, so now let me see, cases closed out, seller resolution. I'm looking, okay, so right now it's not too bad. I only got like one, right? And the fact that I still sell a decent amount of goods, like it puts me at like at 0.08%, right? And so it's not going to kill me. But again, that's the one thing. If you are like selling and you're not selling a lot, but you get a case closed on seller resolution, it will hurt you. Okay. I also like my late shipment rate. I'm taking a look at it now. I'm still okay. I'm at 1.383% of my packages get out late. I have up to 3%, so I'm okay. Let's look at one other thing. Oh, my transaction defect rate. So this is where I get in trouble. So it's at 0.25%. I can't get higher than 0.5%. And the reason I got it is because I got two of them for not having the item in stock. And remember, if you cancel something after you ship it because you don't have it in stock, that's when the algorithm triggers, and that's when you get busted. If you communicate with someone before you ship it out and say, hey, by the way, I'm not sure what happened. Would you like another item, or would you like me to cancel it? If you cancel it at that point in time, you're in the clear. I've never gotten in trouble for that. But I do get in trouble when I think I have something and I print the label and then I can't find it. And then I message them like, hey, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then I go to cancel, and, a day later ends up like I get dinged. So anyways, yeah, that's I would say that's been kind of my experience lately. Like, I'm trying to ship everything on time, but like today, cricket. I got nothing.
All right. I'm wondering if it's just me. It
No
seems
matter.
like No,
I'm
I think
back.
you cut out. Okay.
Oh, did I? I'm here. So I always get a few sales every day, but today's been crickets. And the reason it's been crickets, it's because I think of that case is closed without seller resolution. So if you need to refund somebody, refund somebody. If somebody's mad, like, take care of it. Now, I still have 100% feedback rate, and I'm still good. So that number is still important. And I know not everybody has it, but I always tell people, like, fight for everything. Like, if there's something that was unjust, if there's something that you shouldn't have gotten, like, make sure you take care of it, because you never know. Like, you could have a day and you end up with 2 or 3 negative feedbacks, or you could have a day, where like you end up running out of stock on 3 or 4 items for whatever reason. So, all right, we got some questions here. First, I want to address Secondhand Solo here, my brother from San Diego, which I do miss sourcing in San Diego. I got to tell you, the other day was the first time I missed San Diego for a long time. Because San Diego is just beautiful. So, Secondhand Solo says, stop them for Tuesday inspirational. Well, thanks for stopping by for that. Important question. I have from I think it's AJ13 says, as the most important question of the podcast, whose head is shinier?
It's me.
Is it?
Yeah, no, for sure it's me.
I don't know. So let us know in the
I've
comments.
got a brighter light on it, that's for sure.
Oh, that's true.
So it's
Okay.
Plus my skin tone is just it's a little bit more,
Okay.
reflective.
So Sweet Carolina Pine says, as long as you cancel for buyer asked to cancel, even if you print a label, it doesn't hurt you. But I only do that when I offer a replacement item refund and the buyer says, please cancel. Right? See, and I don't know, Sweet Carolina Pine. I have found that I get in trouble when I print the label. If I don't print the label, no problem. But if I print the label, that's when I run into problems. But hey,
well, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Like what you're saying, Orlando, I think I agree with Sweet Carolina Finds there. And of course, then again, it's everybody's kind of experiencing. But if you're about ready to ship something out and then a buyer says, hey, you know what, I don't want this anymore. And you say, okay, fine. And so you cancel the order for them. You're doing them a favor. That shouldn't hurt your store, right? So yeah. I don't see how that would have a negative impact on your store if you could still use that. Now, again, Orlando, I think kind of what you were talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that you print the label and then you're trying to cancel, but at that point it's kind of too late to do the buyer cancel because they don't give you that option.
Yeah. Well, no, they give you that option, but I'm telling you, like, it picks up something. Something gets picked up by the algorithm or something that you already shipped the item. Like, I don't know, that you shipped the item, so you acted like you had the item and then you canceled, right? I've even done it where, like, I refund still and I still get dinged. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, but Sweet Carolina Fine says, I've done it more times than I like to admit. You know what? We all would have done it a lot more times than we like to admit. So, okay, AJ13 says, I heard something new, maybe changing with the buyer asked to cancel options. I don't remember what I heard, but I think it's not going to be the way it was. You know, that would be beautiful. I would say, and I've said this from the beginning, like if you're a top rated seller, you have 100% feedback, or you have some longevity with eBay, you should be like, you should get a couple, like, here's like two, like, you know, in case you mess up, here's some two freebies, right? Two opportunities to redeem things.
But they kind of do in a way by basing
Think
it
so?
off of your. I mean, if it's based off of like how many items you're selling, if you're a top rated seller, you got good metrics, you're shipping out 500 items, let's say in a month or in that 90-day period, and you've got two defects, that's not going to have almost any impact on your store, right? Now, if you're have only sold 10 items and you have two defects, you're at 20% defect rate, that's going to have a huge impact on your store. eBay actually specifies like how they ding your store, not just like algorithm shadow banning style, but you're going to have to pay more fees. You have other restrictions that are going to be added onto you. So I think in some ways they kind of are already taken into account. Like big sellers are going to have mistakes. Like you could be the most professional entity and there's going to be mistakes, but the more professional you are, those mistakes are going to be small in number compared to the non-mistakes. So I kind of feel like it is being taken into account. I mean, of course, you know, anything could happen, and you know, you could have a bad month for whatever reason, you know, especially if you're selling like if you sold 10 of the same item and all of a sudden like you go to open up that box because you had it on sale and then like mice got into those items. Now I can't ship out these 10 items because mice have like chewed them up. I had 10 of a kind and I was trying to sell them off. Now I'm in a bad place because 10 out of maybe the 20 sales I had this week are defects. Like that is going to hit you for sure.
Yeah, no, agreed. And again, the more you sell, the better that things can get. So always remember that. All right. Hey, so as far as like sales go, I've had consistent sales. It's been good. Nothing to brag about. Like that's the thing. Like I haven't had those like $500 sales, $1,000 sales, and you know I think part of it too is eBay rewards it when you have more of those items like newly listed, right? And I just haven't picked those up. Now I do have. Oh my goodness, I haven't backlogged. I got like 20 or 30 baseball mitts. I got like, I don't know, 100 raspberry accessories I need to list. I have, what else I got? I got a bunch of baseball ticket. I mean, I have a ton of stuff. So I think I just need to spend the time, dedicate myself to that, and just take care of stuff. So, hey, appreciate AJ13 saying 17 viewers, 6 likes. Help them out. Yes, please help us smash that like button.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hit those buttons. Look, I'm even going to put up on the screen right here in case you don't know where they are. The like button looks like that.
There you go.
You got the subscribe button. Hit that one. Bell notification. Bing. So that when we do go live, you've got it. Oh, Orlando, I think we lost you again. You there? Here, we could try this to see if he's there. You there, buddy? Maybe let me know in the comments. Am I the only one not here in Orlando? Am I talking over him right now, or as he dropped? Or is it me? Did I drop? I'm gonna need some people in the comments to let me know what's going on here. No, he's gone for you too. All right, so I guess we'll figure out what's going on with Orlando. I'm gonna try and keep this podcast going while I text him real quick so he knows, because he might not know he's dropped out. Yeah, he actually sent me a text message. It says internet dropped back into. So we're gonna survive without him. So I'm gonna go ahead and give my random story while we're waiting for Orlando here. So I don't really have a huge random story except for this. A couple of, I don't know, at this point it's months ago, but I was talking on the podcast about selling my Toyota 4Runner, which I'm kind of devastated selling it. I don't love the fact that I had to sell that thing, but I did. I sold my Toyota 4Runner, and one of the things that I would keep in my Toyota 4Runner were like a pair of gloves that I could use, various types of gloves I could use for when I was going to the bins. And in my newer car that I have just those like latex style gloves. I've got a little box of them, and those are a decent option when you go to the bins. Kind of the running joke that we've said several times is you know, like you're digging in some clothes and then you feel something wet and sticky and you're like, ugh, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's gross. Like you definitely, when you're at the bins, and you'd be surprised, like a lot of people there do wear gloves when they're at the bins. That kind of tells you something. But I've found, and this has happened to me a couple times now, when I'm in the hard goods section and I'm using latex gloves, that sometimes there's like broken glass or things in there that are sharp, and then it rips your glove, and then you're like, well, I'm glad I was wearing gloves, but also now my gloves are kind of useless. So I found that keeping like very thin mechanic gloves in the car that I could just use when I'm going to stop after work to go into the Goodwill bins are the best type of gloves to use for when you're going to be digging in hardware bins at the Goodwill bins. Books, I take them off because I want to have a little bit more dexterity with my fingers to be able to flip through pages and look. And even with latex gloves on, it's just not, I just don't have that same ability to like find that page and find the edition. But when I have those gloves that are the mechanic gloves, I can get into that hardware stuff, and I can get in there with a little bit more freedom and lack of fear of like, hey, I'm gonna touch something that's gonna cut my hand and I'm gonna be all messed up. So Orlando, I just gave the secret of reselling, and you missed it.
Oh, did you? Oh man.
Yeah, but that's all right. I gave my random story, so
Okay.
we're ready for your random story here.
Oh, random story. I just the hard thing is it's like I really I wish I was at garage sales. I wish I was at thrift stores. Like I wish I had random stories. So I don't have much random stories. I would say my random story is the fact that I always like find myself like with opportunities to know the value of things. I always want to relate to that. So for example, for like, you know, the school I'm at right now, like I need extra textbooks and I could order them brand new from like the distributor, right? For like $100, right? But guess what? I know where to find textbooks. So I go to eBay, or I can talk to, you know, Latin pickers, or I got other resellers that sell books. I'm like, hey, do you have these books? So be aware, like you can always find other opportunities. I had an opportunity the other day. There was a school that was closing. I talked about a school before, but this school had like 20 gaylords of books. And I was like, well, how awesome would it be if I had the time to just take all 20 of those gaylords? Now, if you're wondering what a gaylord is, gaylords are these huge, like just think of boxes on a pallet just filled with items, right? And, you know, I didn't pick it up, but I want to always encourage people. Like there's so many sourcing opportunities, right? I think if you're part-time and you're working somewhere, like, is it possible that you can get shipping supplies from where you're working at? Is it possible that one of the buildings in this skyrise you're trying to, you know, remove them? Not remove them. One of the floors, one of the businesses got out of business, and so they're trying to remove furniture and they're trying to remove items. I think about my son. Like right now, he's gonna go back to college. Man, when you go to the dumpsters at colleges, there's so much good stuff. There's so much good stuff.
Yeah, move out day is a big deal.
Oh,
especially because like, okay, so like I mentioned, I'm right here by Baylor, and they have those big dumpster move out days. But what ends up happening, because a lot of kids, especially for like universities, they travel, right? So, and by travel, I mean like this, it's not where their home is. They're not home located in that city. So they like rent an apartment or they live on campus for the semester, for the year, and then they go back home, and then they come back the next year. And sometimes they move into a different dorm or they move into a different place. And so it's easier for them just to say like, we'll just buy a new mini fridge. We'll just buy new whatever, instead of trying to bring this stuff in our car all the way. Now, if you've got the space for it, one potential thing you could do is really kind of run the game of, I'm going to pick up this stuff and store it over the summer. Like pick up the people are getting rid of these fridges. They're getting rid of this stuff. And then when the kids are back into like moving, getting ready for school, you start going crazy on Facebook Marketplace and you're selling those things, right? You're selling them back to maybe the same kid, but you know, because now instead of them coming in and going to Target and buying a brand new microwave, it's like you've got 10 microwaves listed on. Now, is that necessarily the best bang for your buck type of reselling? Not necessarily. That stuff's going to sit for a while, but if you've got the space for it, you know, you could even run a game like that.
Yeah, look at the comments here. People are talking about. Let's see here. Wait, what is this comment? Secondhand solo. Wouldn't that be similar to removing copper from buildings? No, what?
It's because you talked about removing them when
yeah. Okay. No, it's that's no. Okay. Susquehanna Picker says, I work maintenance at a university, free boxes, packing material, weird sizes to library. Sumter has excellent book boxes. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. And you know, at my recent school, at the school I'm at right now, we just did life size Jenga, and the way we built it is I bought a bunch of, this can be a random story too. I bought like 90 boxes from Uline, and then we created like Jenga blocks, and we had like a bunch of like Jenga towers. But guess what? Now I got all those boxes for shipping, right? So
Are you going to be shipping that many things that size?
No, I'm not. But you know what? At least they're there. At least they're there. But Susquehanna Picker does say, hey, I stay away from student dumpsters. Way too many bed bugs and hygiene issues. Oh, that's gross. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah. Again, that's one of the reasons I stick with hard goods with a lot of stuff. Like you might get a gross fridge, you just don't pick it up. Same thing with like microwaves. But there are certain things that it's an easier surface to wipe down, right? Like if it's DVD players, if it's that kind of stuff, even like desks and things like that stuff is easy to wipe and clean. But yeah, you want to catch those as kids are taking them out. Like, hey, can I take that off your hands for you? I'll help you out. You don't want to pick up, like probably couches and bedding, and I would stay away from that stuff. That's such a good point. I even worry about that. I've never dealt with bed bugs my entire life, but I remember like when I first moved out on my own, I like read an article about bed bugs and I was terrified. Like it seems like you have to, like the amount of work it takes to get rid of them from your house, it's like almost impossible. And so there's been a lot of times I've been at thrift stores and I'm like, what if I bring home bed bugs or something like that? Like that could infest like my entire inventory stock, and that could move into more things. So out of curiosity, maybe anybody in the comments, has anybody dealt with that? Like at a thrift store? I mean, I've had some dirty clothes that I've touched and been like, ugh, or even bought and didn't realize it was stained or something. But luckily I've not dealt with bed bugs. That's a scary one.
That's terrible. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's like burn it all down and buy a new house.
This is the most random episode, I gotta tell you.
Hey, we're in the random stories part, right? So
that is true. That's true. All right. Hey, before we move on though, I just want to talk about My Reseller Genie. My Reseller Genie is a great tool made by resellers for resellers. So if you are worried about your taxes, you're worried about your bookkeeping, make sure to sign up with My Reseller Genie. You can use our code Pure Hustle, and you'll get 15% off the first month. Again, use our code Pure Hustle. You get 15% off the first month with My Reseller Genie. And by the way, if you're trying to follow us on social media, we are Pure Hustle Podcast on all platforms, except we are Pure Hustle Cast on X. As always, you're welcome to shoot us an email at purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. That's purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. Appreciate all of you that listen to us on the podcast. But if you haven't jumped over to YouTube, come on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, hit that bell notification in case we drop a random video. And as always, we are grateful for all of you, as you always leave us great reviews. We are the top eBay reselling podcast out there, and we are the most reviewed reselling podcast out there. So we always appreciate the more reviews we get. So if you haven't had a chance, come on over, jump on in. We'd love to get at least 1,000 reviews in total before the end of the year. We'd love to have 10,000 subs on YouTube by the end of the year. But appreciate all your support. And last of all, if you have not supported us on Patreon, we are on Patreon for $5.55 a month. It's patreon.com/purehustlepodcast, or go to the link below. And the reason it's great is because that allows you to join our Discord. So we have a Pure Hustle community, and I got to tell you, that community keeps running no matter what. No matter if Mike and I are in there, no matter if, who's in there, there's always knowledge. There's all kinds of resellers. There's book sellers. There's shoe sellers. There's vintage toy sellers. I mean, you name it, and they're there. And I do believe, like, everybody there is a legit reseller, right? And Mike and I are pretty good about not having people in there that are trying to sell you something or trying to sway you. Like, we have a legit reseller. So if you haven't checked us out, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/purehustlepodcast. All right, you ready to get into some reseller topics?
Yeah, man. Let me. This thing is being a little weird for me to get the music. So all right, here we go. eBay Open happened. eBay's announced new tools and eBay shipping issues. All this and more on Reseller News. Orlando,
all right,
take it away.
And I'm here. So sad that I didn't get to go to eBay Open. Let us know in the chat if you went to eBay Open. Like, I wonder how many people went. Like, I don't know. Because I will say it was pretty expensive. Like, it was like $300 to go, and then if you get a hotel, you're looking at another $300. And you get a car rental, you're looking like $100 and $200. I mean, you're talking about easily. Yeah, you're talking about like over $1,000 easy, which I think it's still worth it if you can handle that. But not everyone went. So just want to address some things here. So on day one, you always got the keynote by the CEO, Jamie Ione spoke, and he talked about a lot of tools. And so
yeah, I don't know if you see here on the episode notes, I put some of the key kind of takeaways from that keynote. And really the focus of that keynote was on AI, which is really funny because I feel like when AI first really started being a thing, when ChatGPT first came out, like we were really early on. We used it kind of jokingly as like, hey, let's make some like Seinfeld jokes about reselling and stuff like that. But we talked about how the fact that like AI is going to impact reselling. And a lot of people at the time I felt like were commenting like, I don't really see it. How could it work? And we were trying to figure out like, resellers are going to like use AI to help kind of scrub the internet and look for certain like items that they could flip, maybe for listings. And like here it is, like the keynote of eBay Open 2025 is AI with eBay. It's like it is 100% happened in ways we didn't even expect, and it's probably going to continue happening. And one thing that I heard the other day, which I think was really good, and before we get into these points, was a lot of times people, the rule or the law, I can't remember the name behind it, but is that people overestimate in the short term and underestimate in the long term, right? So like in the short term, people think like, oh, this is going to have a huge impact. This is going to change everything. And in the short term, it's like, you were way off. But in the long term, a lot of times people can't really see or fathom where it's going, like how much it's going to impact. And so I think that like even us, like short term, we probably overhyped what AI was going to be back in 2022, at that time. But what it's already becoming in 2025 and what it's going to be in 2030, like is starting to become so far beyond what we even imagined back then.
No, I don't think we know. I just don't know. So it's just going to be crazy. But it was interesting because like, I think this is the tip of the iceberg, right? We don't know what it's going to look like, right? I mean, we were talking about AI way back in the day. Like we were talking about how like Goodwill, they were like scanning like clothes, right? They were scanning clothes and the AI was saying like, hey, this is.
Oh, Orlando, we got to fix your internet, buddy.
People, am I here? Am I back? You're
here. I even call you buddy when it cuts out to see if you're actually there or not.
Make me angry from across the screen.
Well, then I know you're there.
Okay. But did you catch about me talking about Goodwill and like using AI?
Using AI, yep.
And I think, again, I always say, like, AI will never beat humans, but I do think those resellers that make it are going to be the ones that are able to source well. I don't think it's going to be the resellers that can list well. I don't think it's going to be the resellers that are always listing. Like, those people are going to be replaced because with AI, it's going to be easy. And even in the talking point here with Jamie Ione, he had talked about magical listings, right? The idea that you can generate full listings from photos or words in seconds. Now, it's not that great right now. Like, they always hype stuff up. Like, this is eBay, right? It's always like, we have these great tools and everybody knows like, you might have it, but it's not like that great, right?
But like, think about like background removal when it first came out. Like we were super excited for it, but it was pretty garbage, right? And now it's like there. And, same thing with this, like we could look at this and say like, is eBay really going towards AI? Can I take a picture of an item and get a good listing with all of the stuff that I needed to have? We could think about something like that and go like, this just seems like it's more of a toy than actually useful.
Yeah.
But again, like look at what Grok is doing now with like images turning into videos in seconds of just the craziest things. If I'd have told you that the AI would have been doing that like 2 years ago, you would have thought I was off my rocker, right? So it's like we're not there necessarily yet, but the fact that they're pushing there means that there's like, I see this potentially becoming something that is truly useful. Now imagine how useful that could be if their AI power listing is so good that you can be at a garage sale, you take a picture of an item, and not only is it showing you comps, but it like creates a listing for you and shows you like the average sales and like compares to like that. Those kinds of tools could make, so even before you've got this item in your car, you've already got that item listed. Like that would be insane. Like the amount of time you take to look up an item, you've already got the listing done. Like we could be there soon.
Oh, we could be there like in a month or two. I just don't know. Like, I think it's about ChatGPT 5 and the stuff I'm able to do now with ChatGPT 5 is just insane. But that's for another podcast.
And I like too, part of that power listing thing with the AI that was kind of brought up is AI being able to, how like, do you remember when we went to Poshmark Open or the Poshmark little fest? It wasn't Poshmark Open, but it was just like a little get together, and they had like some of their best sellers there that would like look at your store for you, and they had like basically like, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna coach you on your store, like what can you make better, how can you make your listings better. And they kind of talked about in the keynote speaking about like the AI basically doing that for you. Like imagine getting a report, like instead of just getting a report saying these 40 items have, you know, recommended item specifics that might help, but what if it was like, we see that these 10 items are stale, like this is suggested prices, and it actually gave you as if it was a coach to make changes on those items. So instead of us having to try and hunt down, okay, which items of mine are stale, why might they be stale, let me do the research, if you could have that where it's just happening for you already. I mean, and you got to look at it as eBay is only going to do things like this, put money and time and energy into creating this type of software and this type of programming, if it's going to make them money. And if they can do things that's going to help people move items, eBay makes more money. So it's kind of a win.
Yeah, no, agreed. I just think it's interesting that, like in the comments here, Sweet Carolina says, "Hey, it says we are really close actually, but having a platform like eBay integrated in a way that average seller can use it is a different story." And that's the key issue. Like, you know, in this keynote, like it talked about AI assistant for messaging, right? Basically, that it has draft suggested replies, common buyer inquiries. Like, I can't wait for it to roll. I think that one should be that one should be an easy one. That should be an easy one. And I'm excited about that because, but again, I've used templates, so it's not like saving me time. Like, and I just go to my Google Keep, copy paste one of my templates. Now AI may do it, so maybe that's a win. I like this one though. He had talked about offers and messaging allows buyers and sellers to negotiate and send offers directly in the message thread. No need to switch screens, making negotiations faster and more seamless. Like, that's good. Like, I really think that's something that because I hate it when I do messages and they're like, "Hey, are you willing to do this?" And then I end up having to go to the offer and I send the offer. And then the offer, I go, "Hey, I sent, this is the price you asked for." And then I have to go back to message and goes, "Hey, by the way, I sent you an offer, blah, blah, blah." Like now that it's going to be all in messages, that's really good.
Yeah, that integration I think is a huge thing. Another thing that kind of came up with the, you know, AI incorporation was, we talked about this before, almost like the virtual shopper where like AI is helping people shop. And I think the last time we brought this up as like a potential that they were talking about, I was really down on it. Thinking like, who's really going to use something like this? But the more AI is becoming, like, you can't even Google search now without the first thing that comes up is like Gemini is giving you like information, right? So I think if eBay kind of had something similar, like I think even for myself, when I'm browsing items on eBay, already the stuff they have integrated is helping push sales even to me. Like when they say, take another look at this, or this price has dropped on this item that you viewed recently, like those types of things are enough to sometimes get me to buy something. So I can only imagine if they do this well, where depending, because they already have algorithms, like AI in a lot of ways is kind of just like a really, really, really honed in algorithm. Yeah. And so instead of just like random recommended based off of the item you're looking at, it's taking into account all the things you've purchased in the past, things you're searching recently, and it's kind of trying to pull, hey, these are the things you're buying, and you might also be interested in this. Like even things like shows like on Netflix, like they're pretty good at saying, hey, like people who watch this will also watch this. And if they could be pushing certain things to buyers of like, hey, this is the shoe size you've been buying, this is the brand you like, here's some new listings, and it's pushing things at buyers, and they do it in a way that's not like overbearing to the buyers, that could be a cool integrated system. I'm interested to see.
Yeah, no, agreed. So again, more AI was talked about. Which I thought was great. I'm all for it. I just hope that it's accurate. That's a hard thing for me, right? Because some people are talking about in the messages, like there's sometimes you think AI like has it all figured out and you trust it, and then you find like something's really off, like something crazy. You want to make sure you don't do that. All right. You know, okay, so let's go to day 2. That was day 2. Day 2, I got to tell you, this is my favorite eBay guy. Jordan, if you'd like to be on Pure Podcast and you listen to us, please hit us up, shoot us an email and be like, hey, I'd love to be on the podcast. So Jordan Sweetnam spoke. He's the Chief Commercial Officer. And this is not a knock against him, but they kept pushing the eBay live stream. But guess what they said? Still limited to approved sellers. So, like, why talk about it? Like, we've been talking about eBay live streaming for like 3 or 4 years, and it's not available to the common eBay reseller. And
I think
again,
it's a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
no, I disagree. Like,
I
I
think
would
it.
be
I think
doing it
it.
right now.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But if everybody was doing it like that, it would turn eBay, I think, in a lot of ways,
To
almost
Whatnot.
obnoxious into Whatnot. And I don't think the demographics that are shopping on eBay want that experience, right? I think it is wise for eBay to say like, hey, certain people, certain categories, this is a valuable thing to do. But if we just open this up, it's going to turn into something that I think would push a lot of buyers away. Um, I I mean, we already have Whatnot for that with the type of demographics that are wanting that type of selling on Whatnot. I think if you open this up, like think of the average like Gen Xer or Boomer who's on eBay, they're not gonna they're gonna be annoyed by that thing. I'm just trying to look for this shirt, and I pull up this shirt and it's actually a live stream, and I don't know, I don't want this. Like this is not what I want. So I think it's probably good to limit it until it becomes more mainstream. And even still, like you don't want eBay to be the place where like even Whatnot, like more than half of the people on Whatnot, you don't want to be on their streams. It's only like the top 10% or 1% of streamers on Whatnot that anybody's even going to anyways. So yeah, I don't know.
I guess so. All right. Hey, but he also announced new item not received protections, particularly for sellers using eBay labels, which I got to tell you, like that's not a win for me. Like eBay should always side with you if like an item says tracked, and it always has. I've never had something that showed delivered, and the person all day could be like, it never got delivered. eBay will always side with you. I guess this time it's a little easier because now eBay like is gonna say, hey, automatically we'll take care of that. You don't have to worry about that. There was also talk. I'm trying to figure out which day, but there was talk about how eBay now. Let me see if I can find it. But there was discussion that eBay now, with the use of AI and everything, that even if you have, you have an item that's sold and it arrived and everything was good and the person was happy with it. Here it goes. This is straight from eBay. eBay will actually give you automated feedback. So even if people aren't giving you feedback, eBay will give you feedback, which I think is going to help a lot of people. It says great transactions deserve recognition. More feedback means more trust from future buyers, as well as greater visibility into seller experience. But today, only about 1 in 3 buyers choose to leave feedback. Beginning in September, when a seller in the U.S. uses a track service, delivers on time, and no issues are reported, eBay will automatically leave positive feedback for the seller if the buyer hasn't done so already.
Oh.
That's
I
good.
mean,
I think
and then again, that'll make like written feedback more valuable, in kind of the marketplace. But I do think that's right. Like it is annoying. It's like when you're starting out, hey, I sold 100 items, but I only have like 10 positive feedback because people just aren't leaving feedback, but I did everything right. And so it takes a long time to have, hey, now I have enough positive feedback that like my store seems trustworthy. So yeah, I think that's not a bad idea for them to do as long as it's not written feedback. And then again, you'll value that written feedback when you're a buyer a little bit higher.
Yeah. You trying to rhyme here? Trying to do a little rap here?
That's right.
All right. There we go. And then day three, it was like there was workshop seller panels. And I would say those are probably, if you went to eBay Open or even if you did the virtual, that's where like you got a lot of wealth of information. So I don't know, let us know. Did I miss something here? But that was like the key takeaways.
You missed them talking about them raising final value fees.
Yeah, well, okay. You want to talk about it? Go ahead. Talk about it.
I mean, they're just like pretty much raising it in all categories. Like that is what it is, but final value fees are going up.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, I tell people all the time, like if you're gonna complain,
someone's got to pay for the AI.
Somebody's got to pay. But again, the reality is like if you're paying 10%, 12%, 13%, maybe more for your item to sell worldwide, and for you to sell something that you couldn't sell on OfferUp or Craigslist, like to me, it's totally worth it. That's just the way I see it.
It is, but at a certain point, it's like if they keep just raising seller fees, you know what I mean? Like inflation alone should account for it. Like inflation is causing us to have to like have price increases. People are going onto eBay buying, so they should be making their money off of the fact that the value of the dollar has gone down, and so prices have gone up, and so they're going to be making their bottom line equivalent with inflation. So if the only way they're growing is by increasing fees, it's like, yes, the fee is not something to complain about, but at a certain point, it's like if the fee goes up a little bit every year, year after year, like eventually there's going to be a point where you're like, come on now.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Now there is some other like more practical things. So the cost of goods. There's going to be a cost of goods tool to track your profit, which I think is great, right? But I would say still lean on things like My Reseller Genie, and then eBay is not going to be reporting $20,000 and above. And again, I don't know the thresholds. You know, we got a question from Quendish Socks here that says, next year our tax is going to 10,000 or down to 600. Wow, just noticed you cut your goatee. You look a lot thinner. Okay, thank you. I should have just read the first part. I appreciate that though. But you know, listen. I tell people all the time, doesn't matter what the threshold is, just do your taxes, just report, because in the end, you don't want to get yourself in trouble. In the end, you know, that's the cost of doing business. Like that's what you're supposed to do. So just be careful for that. And then there's a couple more AI things here. There's the idea that it's talking about predictive insights for market trends, which I think is interesting. It's funny because, you know, as a head of school, I raise money, and I actually have programs that AI tells me when's the best time to ask people for money. It's kind of interesting. It's like at this point in time, people just pay the tuition, and then this event's coming up. So right now, during this day, is probably when you should send out a letter, or this is when you should go to lunch. It's kind of crazy. It's like does behavior analysis of people's giving. It's pretty fantastic. And I see eBay. Maybe eBay is gonna start doing this stuff too. Like maybe eBay is gonna start feeding people like, hey, you should buy this now, right? I mean, Amazon does it all the time, right? And sometimes I ended up going and buying something because it recommended it to me. So, all right. Hey, Travis has a question here. Travis says, if you do uncapped dynamic promo listing, final value fees are nothing. Yeah, you know what? Travis, you're not wrong, because I do that. And sometimes I've had like 20, 25%, and it kind of rocked me a little bit. But hey, the item sold, so I'm okay. Did you have something to say there, Mike, about all that?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Hey, so that's pretty much all we got for reseller topics. We just wanted to focus on eBay Open. It is always good to go and just Google like things that we're talking about. But again, it was just AI. I think it's going to be a great thing. I just hope they integrate it. I hope the live stream actually becomes available to everyone. But I'm you know, this is the beauty about eBay, is that eBay is always innovating. Sometimes it's like that large ship that takes forever to turn. But when it does turn, it does help you out. I mean, think about it. Like, we don't really have any unpaid items anymore, right? We're all able to send offers, right? Those things were not available, like, you know, 6-7 years ago. Right now, it is what it is. So just grateful. Again, best platform to sell on. If you're looking to resell, I would start with eBay. I know people want to do Depop, and I know people want to do Poshmark, but the kinds of eyes that you get and the professionalism and the safety protections, eBay's definitely the way to go. All right, are you ready to talk about some Bolo? What's your Bolo?
Bolos. All right, so Bolos are things you should be on the lookout for when you're at garage sales, thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, eBay arbitrage, all the places that you're sourcing. And for me, we've had a lot of like shoe brands we've talked about in the past, shoes in general. In fact, a lot of money that I've made on eBay has been from shoes, which is so bizarre. Like if you'd have told me before I became a reseller, like used shoes is how I'd make money, and not like sneakerhead shoes, but like just regular shoes. Now, the specific style or type of shoe I want to talk about today are running shoes. Now, the thing about running shoes is it's kind of like textbooks, where they come out with a new edition, a new model, like every year or every season. And sometimes those models don't fit the way the previous one did, right? Like a lot of times if I used to run like some half marathons, and my wife used to be in the marathon community and like help run some of those events. And it's a huge industry. It's maybe not as popular as it was like 10 years ago, but it's still a big industry. And a lot of times people will get a certain shoe, a certain model that they really, really like. They like the Brooks, or they like the Mazuma version 3.7 grids, or whatever they are. You know, like there's certain models and numbers from a year, and they like the way that fits. And then the next year one comes out, or a different model, and it just doesn't, it's not the same. It isn't, they update them, right? And if you're a kind of person who's putting in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles regularly on runs, you kind of want ones that fit. Now, the other thing with shoes is a lot of times, people get into running and then they don't stick with it, right? And so they buy these shoes, they have these shoes in their garage or in their house that they haven't really used. I can't tell you how many nice pairs of running shoes that are like 5, sometimes 7, 8 years old, 10 years old from the model, that are in almost perfect condition. and people are looking for those. Like people will look for a specific model, a specific year. And so don't sleep on running shoes. Like a lot of other shoes I've kind of stayed away from. I've stayed away from the sneakerhead game. Even like dress shoes, it's like up and down, like what's going to be good. It's like Allen Edmonds were crazy for a while. Now it's like I haven't sold any Allen Edmonds in a while. But running shoes, I sell pretty consistently. So you obviously want them to have a good sole. They need to be in pretty good condition. But again, some people will buy shoes just for race day. They've trained in shoes, they run in a race, and then they donate them. Like at the end of marathons, there's like a shoe donation thing. And a lot of them are donating their shoes just in the bins out there. So these things are a lot of times in great condition with low mileage. So pay attention to older running shoes.
There you go. There you go. Hey, I do want to share a bolo from one of our people in the chat. Susquehanna Picker says, unopened vintage cross stitch kits, easy list, easy ship. Some are worth decent 25 to 70, some even 100. I would say like Bucilla, Bucilla, and Christmas stuff. Good money. Like good money. Like I would tell you, like what I love is like I'll go to a garage sale and they're like 25 cents a piece, even this day and age, and you can still pick them up for good money. So yeah, definitely the cross. I don't know. To me, it's like, hey, if it's something, again, I don't want to pull the Gary V like it's 50 cents, you should pick it up. Remember we talked about that last week? Yep. But I will tell you, like there is something to be said about cross stitch because not only that, it's easy to store, right? It's easy to like just put away. So that is the bolo, not from us. That's from Susquehanna Picker. Mike had his bolo. My bolo, and I kind of struggle in how to declare this. So I just had a friend of mine. She just came back from Japan, and she had a bunch of plush that she bought in Japan. And to get that plush from Japan, it costs a lot of money. It could be like $100, right? I love secondhand Zello says here. You can always tell when Londo is reading comics because he's laughing while Mike is talking. Yes, I'm sorry. I get easily distracted.
Squirrel.
Squirrel, there you go. Well, she came back and she had all these plush. And then I looked up these plush on eBay and it's like $50, $80. And the dollar is very strong in Japan, right? So they paid like maybe $15, $20, whatever it is, right? And it's because it was in Japan, right? The reason it's so much on eBay is because you have to like import it from Japan, right? And then there's tariffs and there's all that. So keep an eye out for plush that is made in Japan. I know it's super vague, right? But maybe you got Pokemon. Maybe you got like, there's like a chicken brand. Maybe there's like some anime. Maybe there's some manga plush. I don't know if that even makes sense. But what I'm telling you is plush from Japan can definitely bring you money. A year ago, I sourced like a whole plush bag for like $6. And in it, I found multiple pieces that were $40, $50, $60, $70. And I made like $300 to $400 on that find right there. So be aware. Look out for plush that is made in Japan, and it looks like something that you would purchase from Japan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like anime or Pokemon or something to that effect. So keep an eye. To me, that is my bolo.
Kind of piggybacking off your bolo. I haven't really looked into this yet, but I know it's a big hot trend right now. I'm interested. Has anybody like dipped their toes in this on eBay, or maybe they have and it's not worth it? But McDonald's is doing the Hello Kitty stuff right now, and it's like
Sanrio, Sanrio.
It's crazy how many like people are like that's the thing, you know. And so we talked about like when McDonald's has Pokemon, I feel like it kind of did okay. Minecraft I feel like was big for a lot of people, but like I feel like there are a lot of people on social media. Like I can't even look at my wife's like screen while she's on social media without people like talking about that Sanria stuff, the Hello Kitty stuff from McDonald's. It's crazy how popular it is. So maybe that's a bolo. I haven't checked eBay for what they're selling for, but
yeah, it's I'm sure there's money there. So all right. And then hey, what are you looking forward to, Mike?
Getting to a garage sale, that'd be nice. I didn't think I was going to go to a garage sale this weekend, but we moved. We were able to pick a different time and date for my son's soccer tryout, so I should actually be able to hit up a garage sale. I'm excited about that. What about you, Orlando?
I think the time has come for me to organize my eBay inventory in my garage. I haven't had it inventory. Well, it is inventory. I do find stuff, but it's just not organized. And I've been here for about 5-6 months now, and I think it's about time. And I'm going to have a little time up here ahead to be able to take care of some of those things. So just looking forward to that. And then I'm looking forward to listing all the Raspberry like computer stuff Is that what it's called?
Raspberry Pi?
computer- Raspberry Pi stuff. Just because I think those are going to be quick sellers, and I think they're going to do pretty well. So I'm looking forward to that. I also got to start working on my taxes for October, so that's going to be fun. And then yeah, it's just, and again, my reseller genie is the way to go. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to all those things. Secondhand Solo says, I tried the Minecraft Happy Meal toys. I still have them. Yeah, so you got to be careful.
Now you got to hold on to them for 30 years, and then
Yeah.
when it comes back
Well,
around,
even then, how many garage sales do you go to, and there's like Happy Meal toys from like 34 years ago that are absolutely worthless, right? So you got to be careful. It's like Beanie Babies, right? You just got to be careful. All right, everyone. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out our podcast. Love you guys. I appreciate all the listeners. If you haven't yet, smash that like button, subscribe, and thank you for all your support. And with that being said, make sure to be real
be relevant.
and be reselling. Lates.
Peace.